Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to be below 44k, yeah, pretty much here currently at 43.5k. Hasn't really moved since the last update, therefore I give you a quick update just to confirm here my views for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin continues to be here in this, what we called in the last video, a potential bearish flag or pennant. I think it's now developing more to a flag instead of a pennant in the end. Doesn't make a great difference, but it means that we are here in an ascending channel, roughly like that, yeah, and we're moving in this in a bearish flag. So that means that normally, more often than not, and this is not guaranteed, but more often than not, you would break this to the downside. Purely looking at the chart, you can see that we've obviously made a series of lower highs up here, and then the price came down very strong and very impulsive compared to what is currently coming up here. This is not very convincing. This looks very corrective, meaning, you know, you've got less of a steep angle. It's just a bit of up and down. It doesn't look convincing yet. Yeah, it looks very corrective, and therefore I think there are good chances that we drop below this very, very important support. That is the support level I mentioned in the last few videos, and Bitcoin in this drop down hit exactly this target level at 42.7k, 42.6, 42.7. It reached it, and we're now here consolidating just above this level. It's a very important level structurally. And why is that so? Because if we have here something like a wave C, so you can count this as a C wave, yeah, because my view is, let me just go that. So in an uptrend, if we want that this here is an uptrend and we can count this bullish, then the way this would be to count as an Elliott wave count would be that we in this wave C here, so you've got your A, B, C, and the wave C itself consists of 5 waves. So this is where the wave C starts. You've got your wave 1, 2, this would be a wave 3, this would be a wave 4, and this can then be a wave 5 that could take the price to the minimum range where I expected actually in this current scenario, which would be 51k. So far, as I mentioned, the price has not managed to push through the 200-day moving average, and therefore the immediate sell-off gets now more likely. That was the original primary or the previous primary scenario, and we get to that in a minute. But this is, if this is a wave 4, the price cannot drop or must not drop below that 42.7k level. So a wave 4 is not allowed to drop into the price range of the wave 1, and therefore this is such an important level. Yeah, this is such an important level, and if we drop lower, I think this imminent uptrending scenario is over. I had a few questions, you know, couldn't it be that Bitcoin goes down to the support of the channel and then turns around again? Well, theoretically that is possible, but not in this scenario any longer, and it would make it more difficult for the price to get again a bullish momentum, because this means that eventually this scenario is invalidated. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this immediate uptrending scenario is invalidated. There will always be another wave count that we can probably find another opportunity or possibility, but for that moment then that uptrend is over. And it would then make that previous primary scenario more likely, where from here we're going to go down directly into the area between 20 and 29k. And I did explain in previous videos why that is such an important level. Now at the moment, my primary scenario is still that we go up first and then come down. Yeah, first into this region of at least 51k. That is the minimum. I'm not saying we get all the way to the top, but the maximum in this scenario would be 65k. Again, of course, we need to make that smaller, that area, as the price is getting slower. But this is as precise as you can currently do it. We just need to wait for the moment when Bitcoin is getting closer, if we can specify that any further. But for now, to be honest, it looks not unlikely that we actually drop below that 42.7k level. I nevertheless leave the scenarios as they are now. It's just a question of which one becomes the primary scenario. If we drop, I'm not going to make it the primary scenario here again, just if we drop immediately. I want to see the price stay in this area and ideally also drop below the 50-day moving average, below 41.7k, just to get a bit more confirmation, because this was also an important level, the 45.8k level, when the price moved above it. but as you can see, it didn't hold it. It didn't hold it, and it failed at the 200-day moving average. So yeah, it is all getting a bit tricky here. And what I mentioned in the last video, so in terms of the wave count on this chart, the primary expectation is this one, go down here, had our 5 waves down, our A wave, this a B wave, this a C wave, completing the correction in the region between 20 and 29K. It is also possible, of course, as I just said, that if we break that 42.7K level, that we go down straight away. And for that, we also have a more detailed wave count, because this could already have been a wave 1, 2. This here would have to be a wave 3. Then we do a 4 and 5, and that could actually land in the target area. Now that, if this is the wave 3, what we currently see here coming down, then the price needs to hurry up to carry on to the downside, because a wave 3 is normally very impulsive. So it should come down very, very strong, and much should be a bit longer. Okay, so that just as a side note here. Yeah, and at the moment, as I said, we are pretty much in no man's land here, in this zone here between 42.7 and yeah, here 48.3K. If nothing really moves, or things can move around, but we don't really make a lot of progress in terms of the chart, in terms of the wave count. So for now it means a bit of waiting, but I think we can see a decision here fairly quickly. And already told you in the last videos that the lower time frame indicators are already turning to the upside, but the question is now, how quickly will we get exhausted on the shorter term indicators before we actually influence the longer term indicators? Because on the daily chart, for example, you still see here downward momentum, you still see that bearish crossover on the MACD play out, you still see the short signal on the ADX and DI indicator now, and all of that indicate actually lower prices. The only chance the price could now turn around again is if those lower time frame indicators, like here the 4-hour chart, when we get a bullish crossover, that they translate over onto the 8-hour chart and the daily chart, and before the price here gets exhausted, and they could then influence them, push them higher, and that would be another way for Bitcoin to turn around and actually eventually fulfill here this primary scenario. But yeah, I'm skeptical about this, yeah, and again, in both scenarios you're going to land down here anyway, so let's see. I think the next few days could give us already some sort of a decision. All right, hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe, and if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.